Hello, everyone. So we're here. Karen's here with me, Romel, and we're going to be discussing the 2016 NWSL season for the Rain. Karen, you've seen the schedule, okay? And I think we have some very, very interesting points to kind of discuss today. But first, your thoughts on it. So go on, give us your thoughts.
Yes, I'm really excited for the fourth season. This is the third season that I've been a Rain fan, so I'm really excited about it. Especially
Yeah,
with all
huge
of
for the league, right?
especially with all of the off-season things that have been going on. College players that we've picked up, Carson Pickett, for example, is my favorite. So that's going to be interesting. All of the international players that we picked up is going to be interesting. And Laura Harvey is a genius. So I'm just excited to see what she does. She keeps tweeting all of these things like, oh, we're really excited about these off-season moves that we're making, but then she doesn't tell us what it is. So
Right.
she told us what that is. So I don't know what happened with that, but I'm excited. She always makes these crazy, crazy decisions, and it always works out. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the whole season, definitely.
yeah. I think what I'm most excited is the fact that we still have an international slot that's available.
Yes, yep. It's gonna be
So,
awesome.
yeah, I think that's very cool. So, what is amazing is, of course, the fact that we're moving into the fourth season. That's something unprecedented as far as the pro leagues in the US is concerned. And
Right.
not just that, it's been phenomenal going into the off season. There's been buzz after buzz. The pride's here. There's been seasonal moves. There's been the draft that happened, the expansion draft first, and then the college draft. Um, but I think uh, to kind of bring that buzz into something of a crescendo, I think this preseason tournament that we're talking about that's going to happen in Portland, I think that's fabulous. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm super stoked. It's gonna be a really good sort of like a presentation of what we're gonna look at for these teams, and I think it's gonna be good for the teams to really, for the coaches especially, to really start working their bench and seeing what they have. So I keep saying Carson Pickett, but it's going to be really cool to see how she does in these preseason tournaments, because I'm assuming that Harvey is going to try out her college players, her international players if they're there, and really like work the bench, see what's going on there. And it's going to be good for Coach Parsons. It's going to be good for Waldrum. It's going to be good for all of the teams, just to get a look at the players, get a look at the bench, and seeing who works well where, especially with Cox retiring. I want to see who works well in that defensive position. And I think that these games are going to be a really good test, a good place for Harvey to kind of work that out. I'm assuming Pickett's is why that's why she picked up Pickett's. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really excited about it, though. I think this is a genius thing to do. Have this preseason tournament to kind of build up that buzz for the season, and to have it in Providence Park, where they are definitely going to have a lot of people there, because Portland fans have proven that they come out for any game.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty critical. I think with the rain, it's just a few pieces here and there. Like we're talking about, Steph's position at left back. Pino out for the season, of course, most of the season. Hopefully, she comes back, and we can see her the season as well. But I think figuring out those two spots is, I think, the only two, I would say, questions as far as the Rain is concerned. Even the bench, I think we've mostly seen a lot of the bench strength that we've got with, say, people like Cruz, Adolstream, and things like that. Uh, so um, I think this tournament, in terms of pitching teams versus teams at a particular level, I think critically for Parsons coming into a new team and figuring out all these players coming into this league, that's going to be a major thing for him. The Dash, they've had 3 seasons so far, never had a sorted defense, centre backs especially. This year they're even without Klingenberg. So I think uh, these two teams are going to have like the most in terms of how they're going to experiment with their team. So I think fabulous, fabulous. Very excited to see what's happening with that.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's that. Let's look at the schedule for the rain. We start off. We start off in March, do we? When do we start?
Yes. Our first regular season is, let's see, Sky Blue, and it's actually April 17th.
April.
After a couple of games
Right.
against
Right.
college. Yeah.
So March is the preseason. I'm sorry, I kind of confused that. The Portland tournament's happening in March. But yeah, so the NWSL itself starts in April. We begin with Sky Blue. We ended last season, of course, with Sky Blue. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's going to be really interesting to see Sky Blue. Honestly, I'm really excited to see what's going on with that team because their off season has been rough, and that's kind of an understatement. It's been pretty rough for them. So I think in terms of the league, I really want to see Sky Blue bring it, like they did in that last game that they played against Rain.
Right.
When we just barely beat them, just barely off of that easy fish luck goal. But yeah, I really want to see Sky Blue come out and bring it. They have Rocky Rodriguez now. I think that she has potential to play well with Kelly O'Hara. The Australian player that I like a lot. What is her name?
Sam.
Yeah, but she's injured right now, isn't she?
No, she's with she and Samka and Feud are with Sky Blue.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that they have a lot of potential if they just. They lost their keeper, they lost a couple of really important players, but they still have Kelly. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go against a team like Rain that hasn't had very much off-season misfortune. We still have the same pieces. We still have our same midfield. We don't have Pino, but Pino was gone for a lot of last season because of the World Cup, and Rain was fine. Not to make Pino sound like unimportant, but we have the pieces. So it's going to be interesting to see those two teams go against each other. A team that had a lot of misfortune off season, and then a team that is just cruising. So hopefully it's a really good game. Hopefully Sky Blue has their game.
I think critically in terms of showcasing the league, I think it's very important that Sky Blue do well.
Yes.
Especially
more exciting game for the audience as well.
Exactly.
The tickets, right? They want to see a good game.
And considering Seattle, which it's unfortunate, but we don't really see too many people in the stands at the beginning of the season. So I think for people coming off, like you said the last time around, is that for people coming off from last season and who are the new season ticket holders for this year, I think coming into first match in the season, I think they need to see something exciting. So I hope Sky Blue really, really matches up to that. So yeah, and then from there we head on to Boston, which I am really excited about. Your thoughts on that, Karen?
I'm also excited to see Boston. I don't know as much about their off-season situation. I know that they did lose their coach and they had to promote the assistant coach. So there's that. I'm excited to see Eunice is still there. A couple of players I think retired, right? So it's going to be. They didn't have as bad of an off season as Sky Blue, but it wasn't one of the best off seasons. So it's going to be exciting to see them. They were one of the inconsistent teams last season. So hopefully,
yeah, but I think bringing in Beard has been like a really strong move for them. I think with the fact that he's kind of, I mean, he's not brought any real stars, you know, in terms of you're talking about international signings or you know, some of the trades that he's made. But he's brought in really solid pieces, and I think you know, I'm really excited to see what Boston can do this year. So I am really looking forward to this matchup, going, you know, going out to Boston and, you know, playing them in for this season. Yeah. So moving forward, we've got May. I think May is going to be quite a thing for us because just playing teams which you know, is going to be a massive impact in terms of our standings. We play Portland twice, we play KC, and we play the Red Stars. Your thoughts on that month for us?
Yeah, that is going to, our first game in May is FC Kansas City, which has proven to be like our kryptonite, basically. we get through the entire season and kick ass, and then in the final championship game, somehow Kansas City just, I swear it's their defense, and they still have Becky Sauerbrunn. So, but they also lost A-Rod and Holiday, and A-Rod and Holiday, I always call it the A-Rod Holiday connection.
Yeah.
That has been how they've scored goals against Reign in the past. They don't have either of those players now. So it'll be really interesting to see. It's going to be a different Kansas City team. So that's going to be interesting. And they don't have Sid. They traded get Sid, and she's pregnant. So
Hagen's off to the Pride. So
right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they still have Becky. And I think that she is a huge, huge, huge piece of that team and a huge piece of that amazing defensive line. So they also lost Lepelbit, didn't they? She also retired.
Yes, Lepelbit
so
also.
She was also a huge part of their defense. So it's going to be exciting to see them go against Kansas City. But the game that I'm really excited about is the Orlando Pride game, because I really want to see how those teams match up. Orlando has a lot of star power, and I want to see how they go against our midfield, especially with Little, Winters, Fishlock. So that's going to be interesting. See
when
how
when is our match against the Pride?
I'm sorry?
When is our match against the Pride? Is that June?
May 8th.
All right.
It's going to be our game right after the Kansas City game.
Right.
And then we go straight into the Portland Thorns, which that's going to be an exciting thing to see. But we're already going to see the preseason match of Seattle versus Portland. So it's going to be a little bit different because this is like not a friendly. It's part of the season. So we'll see the starters playing against each other instead of the bench players. But I'm more excited about seeing Orlando. And then the Chicago Red Stars is how we wrap up. Or no, Chicago and then Portland again. But Chicago's going to be hard.
So Chicago's always been like, you know, a tough nut to crack for us. We've mostly, I mean, we've never really faced them in the off season, but you know, during the season, it's always been, you know, very tough matches. We've mostly drawn a lot of them, and I think apart from you know, KC, I think the Red Stars are like another team that we really need to watch out for.
Yeah, for sure, and especially when we are having away games, that's when we really have a hard time against them. So the first game is at Memorial, so it's going to be a home game against Chicago. So
Right.
But yeah, we always struggle when we're away at Chicago. But I mean, all teams kind of struggled against Chicago when they were playing at
Yeah.
their home.
Though I mean, I am really excited the fact that they're going to be playing at the stadium this year, the Chicago Fire Stadium this year. So I
Yeah,
think,
so that's going to be a better stadium.
yeah, so I think that that's a huge step up for them. So love that, update for the season.
Yeah,
So moving on, June is much lighter, of course. We've got Sky Blue and we've got the Dash, and I think in terms of that month, KC is the only tight game that we've got, really.
right.
Yeah,
We've
your thoughts on
already
that?
yeah. So I mean, it's the second time we play FC Kansas City.
Right.
But by then, we're already going to be pretty familiar with that matchup. So moving that one to the side, Sky Blue again, which we'll know better after the first match as to how those teams match up as well.
Sure, sure.
But I am excited to see against Dash what's going on because, like you
Right,
said, Dash's defense
right,
has struggled the last couple of seasons. So this is going to be their third season.
right.
It'll be interesting to see what Waldrum does with the team. No more Klingenberg, like you mentioned.
Huge. No more McLeod.
Yeah, that's right.
McLeod
Yeah.
at back. Yeah,
So
that's huge.
yeah, exactly. But I think that game is going to be at Memorial. Yeah. I am really excited to see how we do at BBVA.
Right.
We tend to do pretty good.
Yeah.
That's where Kim Little got her hat trick in the rain.
Yes, fabulous last goal there.
But yeah,
Great.
June looks a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
When we end with Kansas City, I think Kansas City is always going to be a tough test because of that
yeah,
defense. I think honestly they have probably the most solid defense in the league, and that's saying something because Reigns' defense is pretty good. So I think Kansas City is going to be the team to beat for us. So that's
right,
going to be kind of a tough last game in June, leading into July.
right. And then I think July is a cluster of a lot of matches. I think that's our heaviest month in terms of the
Yeah,
schedule. What are your thoughts on that?
it is. It is a really heavy month. I think there's there's 5 games in that month.
Yeah.
So we start with Boston, your favorite, and then we go into back-to-back matches against Flash, which is interesting. We travel there first, and then we get back to Memorial Stadium after that. I'm interested to see the Flash games. And coach is Paul Riley,
Right.
so he has a history of bitterness towards Seattle Reign, and I think Laura Harvey in general. So it'll be interesting to see the lineup that he pitches against us, and
Right.
to see. I don't want to say his behavior because he really during games. I have no problem with coaches and behavior, but I just want to see. Just on a personal level, what he looks like facing Seattle. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know if Flash has had a very good offseason either. I don't know how long they've known that Paul Riley was going to be a coach. I don't know how long he's gotten to spend time with these players. So
Right.
hopefully he figures it out. He gets familiar with his players, and they put up 2 really good games. That's my hope. I don't want any 5-0 runaway games against the Flash this season because that's not. I mean, it's exciting at the time, but that's not what we want for the league.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
hopefully they've figured things out. They have picked up some good players, so it's gonna be awesome.
Awesome. So that's done with July. August is basically the league's away for the Olympics, and we only play one match in August, that too against Thorns. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a little bit of a strange game, because it's so close to the end of the Olympics. I'm not
Right.
sure too many of the NT will be, back in play. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah. So we're probably going to be missing. Well, Pino's probably still going to be out with the ACL.
Right,
I really don't think I love her to death, but I don't think that she's going to make the Olympic roster. And then we've got Hope probably won't be there, but I mean we
right.
have Haley Kottmeyer, who is in his own right.
All world for us. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but in Australia in the W League, she got like all of these awards for her goalkeeping. So I mean, we're set. As far as Portland, though, I mean, they have a lot of international spots, and those are people who are probably going to be allocated for the Olympics. So it's going to be interesting to see who they field in that August game.
right.
And they're still going to have Ali Long, Mana Shim,
Yeah,
really good uh, midfielders. They're still going to have. Are they going to have Betos? Yeah, they're still going to have Betos.
yeah. Betos for
So
sure. They will have Jodie Taylor up front,
yeah,
because I mean,
right,
England and the UK are not at the games, of course.
which is
So yeah, I
disappointing.
mean, the roster is pretty decent,
Yeah,
both ways. I mean, we don't know as yet if the Netherlands qualify for,
right,
but that could mean Mano Mali is not available for that game if they
right.
do make it. So yeah, big question marks there.
Yeah,
So moving on, we've got now September, and it's the month that we travel the most.
yes,
Yeah, your thoughts on that?
yeah, we do. And I mean, a lot of travel games is always going to be hard on the players. They don't
Right.
have their fans behind them, and just traveling is tough. It's rigorous and sucks, and you're tired, and
Yeah.
so it's going to be interesting to see. We go to BBVA. That's going to be our last match. We go to
We played the Spirit for the first time in September.
yeah, twice back to back.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, and actually that happened last season, didn't it? We played
it did. It did.
at their home, and then
We
we
came
played
back
at
here. Yeah.
home. Yeah, it was back to back. It was like the last couple of games. So I wonder why they keep doing that. If it's like a dramatic thing, because like honestly, the Rain versus the Spirit is always such an exciting matchup. I mean, the fans get angry and crazy, and like the game is always just like really even and really exciting. You don't know what's going to happen. Um, so maybe they did it for that reason.
Possibly, but I do think there's a lot of buzz that's going to be missing with Parsons not being there, of course.
Yeah, it's true. That's Harvey
So
and Parsons is always a
that
fun.
was, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, just phenomenal.
Mhm.
Also, I mean, they will be missing a lot of players. Harris is no longer there, which is like a big thing for them. Uh, so yeah, I'm really keen to see how Gabara and the Spirit do this season.
Yeah, yeah, especially against a team like Rain.
Yeah,
Parsons, I think you can argue that Parsons did really, really well against Seattle,
right.
in spite of the fact that I mean, we won, but like the Spirit definitely put up
Yeah, but I think
fight.
more importantly, I think there was a lot of I mean spirit that the team kind of played with. So I think they did really well under Parsons, and what I am also keen to see is that there's actually I think in terms of just the fan base, apart from Portland, of course, I think the Spirit has got like the most vocal, the most passionate fan base around in the league, and I think especially for them, I hope that this team really delivers this year. So
Yeah, definitely. I really want to see Gabar do well. I want to see Spirit do well.
Right.
So yeah, I want to see all of these teams do well. I mean, I want to win,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
but it's good for the league when we have really exciting, even teams that are facing each other. So that's
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that it's good, and I'm hoping because our last match is against Houston Dash, and it's going to be at BBVA. So I'm really
Right.
hoping that that is like the best game of the season. That'd be a
Yeah.
really awesome way to end end the regular season before we go into the playoffs because we're going into the playoffs. This is right now. That's happening.
Yes, I would absolutely think so. I mean, there's been a lot of flux around, and what's been amazing is that I think, you know, we would have expected that of Casey, for example, but Casey just lost too many players. So I think it just, fingers crossed, we've been very steady in terms of the team. The core is still there. We've actually brought in a few more players that I think could really impact this league. So really looking forward to some amazing games. I think if we if the league itself manages to have a table where till the last month we're still really looking at standings in terms of who's moving into the playoffs. I think that's going to be critical. That's going to be the most fun.
Yeah,
So
I'm
the
really
main,
excited too to see if there's anybody that can fit in next to Bev Yanez. I Merritt Mathias I thought had really good games. I want there to be that like Naho type player
right.
that fits in really well next to Bev because Bev holds her own. She's awesome, but I think that we really need that forward player. And I don't remember which international one that we picked up that was a striker.
That's my normality.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we get a good. I don't know when she's starting the season, when she's coming in, if she's
I think
coming in
she
right.
is, yeah, at the beginning of the season. Yeah.
So that'll be exciting to see if she can replace Naho kind of, and
Right.
because Naho's been gone for 2 seasons, but like
Yeah.
I still miss that
Huge
little.
now fan. Huge now fan.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see who they put next to Bev.
Right.
It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who they replace Cox with because I think Cox was the backbone of our
True.
defense. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. We've got players there. I mean, of course, we've got Goranson who's in, who is a left back. I mean, she's a player who can play the wing basically. So she's played left back before, of course.
Right.
We picked Pickett in the draft for sure, which is a real player for player kind of a pick. She plays. She's a left-footed player, amazing on the flank. And in terms of her college career, I think she just set records with her assists, her numbers, which is phenomenal. I think for a left back having those kind of numbers in terms of assists was like just mind blowing, and I'm so glad that we picked her.
Yeah.
So
I've said it before, but she was the number one college player that I was watching during the college season. And I thought she was going to get picked up immediately because for me, I mean, I love Raquel Rodriguez. She's amazing. She totally deserves that number one spot. But for me, Carson Pickett was the number one player of the entire college tournament. And
wow.
so when nobody picked her and it got to Laura Harvey, I was just like, Laura, do it, please. And then she did, and she picked up Carson Pickett, my favorite. I love this
Yeah,
coach. Yeah, I was so.
amazing.
So it's gonna be a great season. It's definitely gonna be super exciting.
Right.
Really interesting to see the matchups. To see who can fight against a team like Seattle Reign, which has had a lot of the same pieces for the last couple of seasons and still has them. So
Right. Right. So I think fabulous in terms of what we have discussed. Just now to kind of give this like our last bit, your pick for the game of the season.
The game of the season. I am the most excited about the May 8th game that is against Orlando Pride because Orlando Pride is this team that is brand new. They've picked up all of the star power. They've got Alex Morgan, they've got Harris. They picked up a couple of international players. They have Kaylin Kyle as well.
Yeah.
They picked some really, really good college players as well. And they have a lot of buzz that's surrounding them. They have
Yeah,
Tom
absolutely.
Sermani as a coach, and I think, in spite of what happened with the U.S. Women's National Team, he's a really good coach. So they have a lot. They have a lot of money going into them. They have a lot of people who are fans now. They have their own fan group now. So I'm really excited to see them against Seattle Reign, a team that's very established, that's very, they have the same pieces that they've always had. That's going to
Right.
be a crazy clash of star power against star power.
Right.
I'm excited to see Alex Morgan against our defense, and I'm
Right.
excited to see Kim Little Winters Fishlock against their defense.
Right.
So it's just gonna be exciting. It's gonna be two really good coaches. Two, I think Orlando is gonna be a really good team. I mean, they have all the pieces. They just have to kind of figure out how they fit together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do want them to do well too, since they're a brand new team expansion. So it's gonna be super exciting to see those teams face off. So that's my pick, the first Orlando game.
Awesome, awesome. So I think in terms of the game that I pick, I would definitely pick the first game that we've got against Boston back, in the Boston's backyard, because for me, I think what's most exciting is the rivalry. Uh, Beard coming in from the FAWSL, and he, not just with the fact that he was the coach for Liverpool, but Beard was the first coach to knock off Harvey with his Liverpool team and clinch that title in his debut season at Liverpool. So I think there's a huge, huge bit of rivalry there. Beard's got like some very exciting players in his team that he's picked. I'm really excited to see how he kind of manages all of that together here in the States, and I mean rather there in the States. But uh, yeah, and I think it's something that I'm really really looking forward to. I'm so stoked to see that game. Yeah.
And Boston has had a lot of trouble in the last couple of seasons, so their fan base really needs something really, really exciting. So hopefully that's the game that really gets the fans to come out to see Boston play. The team deserves that kind of fan base. So yeah, that's going to be a really good one.
Awesome. Cool. So, thank you so much, Karen.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing, just talking about the rain to a rain fan out there in the States. Uh, Thank you, everyone, and we hope that to see you soon. This is Off the Post, and this was our opinion post on the rain season for the 2016 NWSL season.
Let
All
it rain.
right. Let it rain.
Let it
Yes. All
rain.
right. See you guys.